Hey guys, and welcome to the Skies of Lordran D&D campaign. The campaign is run by myself as the DM, and I play with 5 of my friends from college. Aidan, Ruby, Harry, Phoebe, and Abby. We've been doing this campaign for a few months now, and we are currently, I would say, a quarter of the way into the main story I've planned. This video will basically be a catch-up video to fully bring the story up to the point of the last session, just to make it easier for you guys. I'm not having to constantly recycle information, because that is annoying. I have been told that constant repeating of exposition is not the best. Before we start, there's one thing I'm going to have to do, and that is actually explain the world of the Skies of Lordran. 200 years before the events of the main campaign, there was a cataclysm that forced most races to bring islands both large and small into the sky from the level. Mountain cities closed off their entrances on the land and built upwards. 3 of those mountain cities are mainly, at least for the top half, run by some Dragonborn kingdoms. The Fireborns, the Thunderborns, and the Iceborns. Those 3 specifically on 3 specific mountains. The law of the world is split between 2 races, mainly. The Goliaths, who control the law on the mountain cities and the islands, and the Aarakocras, who control the law in the sky and do patrol some of the smaller islands. We start our journey on a ship during the 3rd day of a 10-day journey, where we meet Opal, a Azamar cleric played by Ruby, Akira, a Dragonborn barbarian played by Aidan, and Tepid, a half-orc rogue played by Harry. During the time on the ship, they encountered each other, encountered a few NPCs, and met Lester, a asinine centaur bard with a heart of gold who just wants to bring joy to the world with his music. After a few strange encounters during their lunch, they went back to their cabins and rested. In the evening, during a storm, the ship was rammed into. Akira, upon looking around, he noticed one of the passengers was actually missing, and was told that it was a diplomat. Upon hearing that, Tepid and Opal got involved, and they went down to the cargo hold where they assumed the pirates were. Upon there, they could see the diplomat talking with pirates of a race they weren't not knowledgeable on. During the battle, they captured the diplomatic pirates, but one pirate took a strange potion and then became a demon. After the battle, they were brought onto the Navy ship, the USS Enter, captained by Jean-Luc. And I'm pretty sure most of you have realised now, yes, that is a Star Trek reference. All my characters, well, nearly all my NPCs are references. And that's not a bad thing. And this is me speaking as a DM and as a player. Using references to create characters or just a character is not a bad thing, so long as you do change stuff, so you're not just a carbon copy. Because of media's done that for years when it comes to stuff. Some characters are just pure references or Mickey takes of other characters from media, but I digress. While on the USS Enter, they encountered Q, a trickster who revealed to them that one of the potions they had confiscated was made from a byproduct from the god of fire, Valdez, who's also god of inventing. He told them he doesn't know how they got the product, and he won't tell them, because he's a trickster. He can't do things he wants to. After that, they rested for a few days, got to know each other a bit, well, attempted to get to know each other, and arrived on the island of Jonah's Cove. A medium-sized island that was run by a very eloquent and very hyperactive mayor, who has ties to the USS Center. Upon hearing that they brought prisoners to be interrogated, he rewarded the group very well, including a few potions, a book, and a lot of gold. While on the island, Akira, aka Aiden, went to the local blacksmith to try to buy a weapon and get imbued with thunder damage. Where he was told they couldn't imbue with thunder damage unless they managed to find crystals for it. Akira, upon hearing that, decided to gather up his crew, the group. And during that time, both Opal and Tepid were at the local tavern, where they encountered Talos, a 7-foot-tall tiefling, and a pirate lord. Pirate lords are basically pirates who are so notorious that not even the Navy will try to arrest. But they also encountered Mary, a wood elf and the adopted daughter of Talos. After a bit of flirting, Mary and Tepid hit it off and entered a relationship, which, the next morning, Opal, Tepid, and Kira set off on their quest, but not before being joined by Lester, the humble asinine bard they met on the ship, and Mary, who acted as a guide. As they went into the more centre of the island, they went for a forest, and then encountered a very large, macaw, which threatened them, and they also ran into a new person, Cranston, a Dampier, or half-fang, vampire, which means he is a child of a vampire and a human. After the battle, where they quickly gained more teamwork skills, and they also found out what happens when you piss off a bard, well, specifically Lester, they went into a small lizard folk village, where they also ran into a bounty hunter who knew Cranston, Nero Huxley, a pact-born warlock. And Cranston, as it turns out, is a gunslinger fighter. After that, they went further into the jungle and actually encountered a pirate camp, where they freed a pirate known as Jason and took his ship back, which happened to contain an element of crystals. When they returned to the main port, they actually found out that Jason is a notorious pirate. And after a bit of discussion with Jean-Luc, Akira managed to persuade him to put Jason under their watch, let's say. After the persuasion, Mary, Cranston, Nero, and Eloy end up joining the crew to travel to the Thunderborn Kingdom for Akira to return his great axe, which belongs to his father. After a few days' travel on the beginning of their journey, they ran into another pirate ship. After a fierce battle, they boarded the other ship, went down to the middle deck, and encountered a man who identified himself as Dano. The Tepid recognised him as Negrom. Upon more talking, and upon Opal doing a religious ceremony, it was revealed that Negrom and Dano are one body but two souls. Dano being a soul that when he died was full of hate and rage. Negrom revealed the reason he's able to do this is because he died and was sent back. And how he died was revealed when he hinted and then partially shown that there is a hole in his chest where he's missing a lung and part of his heart. His organs are only being kept in by the breastplate. Afterwards, Negrom joined the crew and they found out he is a spiritualist. And I will say this now, I am using homebrew from DM's Guild. The Spiritualist, the Packborn, and Dampier are all stuff from DM's Guild. The Dampier and Packborn are races, and the Spiritualist is a homebrew class. One that I've been wanting to play for a while, I've seen it on TFS at the table. When they restarted their journey, they entered at the dock at the base of the mountain that the Thunderborns were on, during which time they encountered Sai, the former best friend of Akira, and they also learned a bit of information about Cranston, who revealed that he has been alive for 200 years and was actually alive during the Cataclysm, and that he has had to fake his death quite a few times, during which they also learned that Tepid, a former gladiator, actually had family, and that Cranston had made his mission to rescue any half-orc that was taken captive by this underground group and take them to a small orphanage run by a Goliath called the Sunflower Orphanage. After that, Tepid and Negrom went to the current branch of the Assassin's Guild, which they both work for, during which they discovered a contract for Akira. Wanted him dead, signed by his brother. Upon finding that out, they did also find another contract looking for a Priestess of Light. They then hatched a plan to try to figure out how to fulfill the contract and not kill Akira, as Sai then revealed that he is the leader of an underground crime organisation, and Jason worked for him. To which the group agreed, rather grimly, and not all voluntarily, that Sai must die so that Kira can live. After which they hatched a plan to kill Sai and send his head as proof that the contract has been fulfilled, and then carry on their journey up the Thunderborn Kingdom. After a battle, and successfully filling that, they also learned that Cranston knew of a circus performance group called the Natural Wonders, and that Cranston has a history with the leader, as his former hand is now under the service of the leader, and will then reveal that Cranston has a new hand, as he put it, a fighting hand. And yes, that's Doctor Who reference, sue me. After finishing the contract, as far as I know, Akira, Opal, and Tepid went up north towards the kingdom. During that time, they went through a forest and encountered Elixus, a wood elf druid played by Abby, and Vincent, a human wizard played by Phoebe. During which time they bought a few wares from Vincent and Elixus, who run a small wagon selling off tools and such, mostly made of wood, to make money as they go. They then also encountered Sano, as he was punching down trees for, as he put it, training. After which they were all led into the main city, which was surrounded by well-guarded walls, but also scarred walls, scarred by acid and fire from guns, cannons, and the like, along with magic. During which they also had Saito, as Tepid learned, and Tepid quickly realised Saito was known as a Botosai, a manslayer, and also known as the Wolf of Justice, a person not to be trifled with. During that time, they rested in an inn and also encountered Kenshin, a human wielding a sword with blade facing towards him. After that, they rested at a local inn, after a bit of having to pay a bit extra when it comes to Tepid upon mentioning Sano. During the night, the city was attacked. The inn was damaged to the point of the massive wall, and Opal, upon yelling out for them to stop, got hit by a javelin, leaving an indent on her neck. After which, they rushed down to the cart of Elixir's and Vincent, which currently held all their weapons, and once they had gathered their weapons and such, they then were surrounded by black dragonborns. After which, they fought, and then, halfway through, encountered a Earth Genasi called Cliff, who is a pugilist, another homebrew class from DM's Guild. After that, they went off to the main gate, after being escorted there by Saito, where they were willing to fight again, and were stopped, and a bright light shone down on them, as when they looked above, they could see the USS Enter over the city, having been called after hearing what was been happening in the city. After catching up with the crew of the USS Enter, and also getting to know Cliff, and Vincent and Alexis, and in Opal's case, trying to start a relationship, as it were, with Cliff, they arrived at the main Thunderborn city. When they arrived, they saw the rest of their crew in their ship, which had been called up north by the USS Enter to fully sort out what had been happening. Upon there, it was revealed that Jason, who tried to take back his ship just before Akira, Tepid, and Opal left, was killed by Negrom. His body disintegrated. The crew was then heavily rewarded for it, and then met back up on the ship and quickly informed everyone of what happened. After which, they explored the city, and they ran into a few buildings, a few taverns, and the day after that, they then met Akira's father, who, upon a bit of discussion, managed to persuade the group to come in, managed to persuade Opal by just kindly asking her to enter, during which Akira managed to return the Great Axe, and Opal and Nero learned that Akira's mother, who most people assumed was acting strange because she was heartbroken, had actually been cursed. Upon leaving and informing the crew, they made another plan to try to cure her. Tepid had, during a lot of it, been training with Mary to become a monk after wanting to leave the Assassin's Guild. The next day, they then attempted to cure Akira's mother, but failed because during the attempting to remove the curse, a black glow surrounded the gold glow that Opal was emitting, and she got a message from her goddess not to remove her hand, as it revealed the curse is too powerful even for a removed curse. Afterwards, they regrouped with everyone to try to find out, and Akira acquired the Soul Slayer sword. A great sword that, upon Akira wielding, he heard the words revenge over and over again. The more he held it, the more he heard it. After which, they informed the entire group and found a letter addressed to Akira in Draconic, saying if he didn't want his mother or anyone else hurt, come to the East Mansion. Come to the mansion, the east edge of the city, and bring your group. Dear brother. Revealing that Akira's brother knew the contract wasn't fulfilled. Whether that means Tepid is in danger of failing the contract and lying to the client or not, they don't know. That is where I ended that session. And next session, at the beginning, I will recap what happened last session. As I said during the thing, this is a journey that's over the course of a month has happened. And while technically it's been about 4 months for us, and that's actually how long it's been for Kira since he left his home, I have learned how to DM. And should anyone want tips, I'm willing to make another video. I'm willing to get some of my friends on voice chat, and so we can talk, and just maybe do a podcast just to explain and answer questions everyone has. As I mentioned, I am also using homebrew from DM's Guild, from various creators, because I know when it comes to at least DM's Guild, these are people that do love the game to the point they want to create a homebrew. They want to create class, race and stuff. And the Pugilist, the Spiritualist, they're both classes from DM's Guild and they're both really good. The Packborn, the Dampier, both races, really good. And while there has been some awkward timing when it comes to actually playing, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and from what I've been told by my friends, they love it too. Hell, fucking Ruby says I am the best DM she's ever seen, and this is her words, and she watches Critical Role. She has put me above Matt Mercer, which I know it was meant as a compliment, but for me, personally, that gives me massive shoes to fill, and I'm always... And this is something that I know all DMs worry about. And that is worrying that you're going to not fulfill the expectations of your players, and that's something all DMs feel. And my advice for that is, try to not let it bother you. Your players should not always expect the best from you, because they should know you do a lot for this group. You're building this world, you're playing the sessions, you're taking time to do all this, to build this world up. And for me, before I started this campaign, I created the world. I already had a rough idea in my head beforehand, but I fully built this world up. I'm still building it now. I can't say draw a map because I'm dyspraxic, so my hand-eye coordination is a wee bit crap. But I created an entire pantheon for this, and while I haven't been able to use it much, I don't regret it. And I've been using DM Skill, D&D Beyond, I've been using everything I can to build up. And as I said, and one thing I will say, in the comment section for each video, I don't want people going into it and going, that's not how the rules work. Because the rules, a lot of the time for D&D, are not good. You can change, you can edit. They are not 100% this is how it must work, how it always must work. Because you are the DM, you are in charge. I have changed how some rules work to better suit the campaign itself. To better fit the world. And one thing I will say, do not please go into this video saying and complaining. I don't want to see it. I will take constructive criticism, like, if you said something like, yeah, your voice isn't very unique. Again, that's constructive criticism. And nobody I will say is, I'm not a voice actor. My voices will sound very similar. Because of, most time my voices are similar. But I will also say this. Never be afraid to DM. Never be afraid to play. Because there are always people out there who are willing to play with you. And I just realised how wrong that sounds. Play D&D with you. And if there's any players that you deal with that are rules lawyers, they try to hold the rules to highest regard and make sure they must be fulfilled. If they make it to the point it's not fun to play, stop. D&D is a game that is supposed to be fun, you're supposed to enjoy, you're supposed to create a character that isn't yourself. It is escapism. And if you're playing with someone who is removing the fun out of playing, then they're playing it wrong. They're playing it wrong. Not you, they are. They're the ones who are trying to take everything as a way to put in the box, which shouldn't be. But also, remember to always split the character and the player. If you don't like the player, don't let that soil your view of the character. If you don't like the character, don't let that soil your view of the player. And the one bit of advice I can give to everyone, both player and DM, have fun. That's the one thing D&D is for. Have fun. Enjoy. Not rude. Yeah. Screw about. But also remember, there are other people. If you're going to screw about, do it in a way that nobody can also make them laugh. Not just you. I'll hopefully be able to have another video ready for you guys to learn the backstories of the cast. If not, I will do another one to explain it. And I'm hoping the first session that I record is the next one. Because I do have some fun stuff planned. And I hope to see you all there next time. This is Zach Coleman signing off. Hope you have a great day, my most beautiful of watchers.